Hi there. My name is Dr. Tim Grivois, and I am the Executive Director of TGS Educational Consulting. I am beyond excited that you're taking this opportunity to preview some of the content in our next workshop, which is going to be called Physical Activity and Time Outdoors for Students with ADHD. And it's all part of our series called Creating Inclusive Classrooms for Students with ADHD. And I'll tell you what, time outdoors and physical activity are some of our best evidence-based classroom possible, school possible supports we can provide for students with ADHD. Right, and just a little bit about me. Again, my name is Dr. Tim Grivois. I use he, him, his pronouns. I'm the Executive Director of TGS Educational Consulting. I've been an educator for 22 years, and I've led PBIS implementation as a teacher, a building leader, central office, and now a facilitator for schools implementing positive behavior intervention and supports. And I go about this process in a much different way than many PBIS vendors are going to, because I really try to make sure that what aligns with our values now is actually the way we're going about PBIS implementation. And very often, students with ADHD end up being identified for extra supports within schools who are implementing PBIS. And so it's important for us to be ready to get our arms around all of our students, especially our students who are neurodiverse. A little bit about me personally. This is my partner, an amazing human being inside and out. He's not a country music fan, but he comes with me to all of this guy's concerts. This guy's Kane Brown. I absolutely love his music. I've been singing his music forever at karaoke, and it's just a lot of fun to go see his shows. They're great shows, and I'm really excited that for my anniversary, our anniversary, for goodness sakes, our anniversary, my partner bought us tickets to go see Kane Brown in San Diego. So I cannot wait to see this new tour coming up. I also happen to play Pokemon Go. So if you want to be my friend in Pokemon Go, absolutely send me your code. I'd be happy to do that. This is my oldest. She loves to climb trees and rarely lets me photograph her. So she was very much excited to be on top of this tree and wanted some photo evidence of it. These two kids are my twin 6-year-olds. They love to play soccer. And I'll tell you what, my son goes to soccer to kick things. My daughter goes to soccer to learn how to play the game. They're both running around, having a great time with it. And it's just an absolute pleasure to see them learn and grow in these kinds of ways. And hopefully just over time, we'll get to know each other in these kinds of ways too. But I did want to let you know a little bit about me beyond what I do professionally. Now, at the workshop, one of the things we're going to ask everyone is just to ask themselves this, does someone I care about, does someone that you care about have ADHD? And the reason why I do this isn't to say, oh, if you say no, actually, no, you're wrong. You definitely know someone with ADHD. It's just to know that if you're in the yes, no, or probably buckets, you might be approaching this content a little bit differently. And so just that way, just to know that those funds of knowledge that we bring in to make this relevant for us might be just slightly different. And it helps me just as a facilitator tailor the learning, depending on who happens to be on the call or in the room at the time. Now, this next one is also important because many of us are also adults with ADHD. If I answered this question, my response would be here in this yes bucket because I would be an adult with ADHD. And again, all of this is anonymous and completely optional. Nobody has to participate in the interactive portions of the presentation, but a lot of people do. And it helps us to just also get a sense of who's in the room and how we might be approaching the content. So for example, if I have a lot of people who say, yes, I'm an adult with ADHD, there's a lot that's in the presentation that's going to be validating to things that they either know very well about themselves or might be coming to know about themselves and can also support their students with ADHD as well. Sometimes there's a lot of folks that say, no, I'm not an adult with ADHD. And just recognizing that if we're stepping into a space that we don't really live from the inside out, we might be approaching this content differently and just need different kinds of support to differentiate it just a little bit better. So that's just the purpose of those particular slides. Now, one of the things that we're going to do at the very outset is take a look at what the symptoms of ADHD are, and just some of the things that school adults notice about children and youth with ADHD. For example, you might notice kids not paying attention, or students who are out of their seat a lot, that the desk is a mess and a planner is empty. And I tell you what, the kids with ADHD will never ever care for the rest of their lives about that planner you gave them. Even though it's a great tier 1 academic support strategy, kids with ADHD have a stack of unused planners in the corner of their desk. And it's not because there's anything wrong with them or that they can't learn to use them. It's just that they're not necessarily designed usually for the ADHD mind. A lot of times kids with ADHD might be talking too loudly or at the wrong time, taking things, struggling taking turns, or struggling to get started, or to break down big tasks, struggle with following directions. and might even have some extreme negative reaction to correction. And not only that, ADHD can also have some very toxic best friends too. Toxic best friends such as anxiety, demand avoidance, and rejection sensitivity dysphoria that can be very challenging and sometimes missed because of an ADHD diagnosis. And so getting to know all of these symptoms of ADHD can help us respond to them in evidence-based classroom possible ways. And by evidence-based, I don't mean that research has illuminated every last facet of the ADHD mind at all, but just enough evidence to know that the thing that we're trying to do is really likely to help. And not only that, but it's got an effect size big enough that if we do it, it's likely to help a lot. And the second part of this is also classroom possible. Evidence-based, classroom possible. We want the strategies that we suggest to teachers to be things that actually can happen within the context of classrooms in 2024, which are honestly very different than classrooms in 2019 for all sorts of reasons, including a global disease crisis that we are just now finally recovering from. And certainly our kids with ADHD are going to need lots of support through that. So I'm really excited to have you at this workshop. I really do hope that you'll share this workshop with your teachers, and I cannot wait to see you and meet you and see how this workshop serves you and your team.